After the dumpster fire that has been 2020, one thing is for sure. COVID-19 testing is going to be a part of our lives and a part of travel.
Then before you come here, you have to go get a Hawaii-approved COVID test.
Coronavirus testing program.
COVID testing right in the main terminal.
Starting today, you can get the saliva test here at the airport.
Today, I am heading to the Minneapolis-St Airport to get a COVID-19 saliva test. Follow along and see what it's like. I am not going anywhere today, but I just thought I'd bring this dusty guy along to feel something. While I wait for my window to defrost, Minnesota problems, and head to the airport, a few things. Many countries are requiring negative COVID-19 tests to enter. Testing sites around the country and the world are available. Some airports and even airlines are setting up testing programs to meet these requirements. Minneapolis-St. Airport in my backyard is one of the few airports where you can get tested on site. I'm on my way to MSP Airport to get a COVID-19 test before seeing a family member for the holidays, and I'm bringing you along for the adventure. Also, I just remembered you can't eat or drink anything 30 minutes before this saliva test. I've got to say, this is not how I was picturing my visits to the airport when I was making my 2020 travel goal resolutions last January. There's nothing sadder than turning back from airport departures, but here we are. I am following the COVID-19 testing signs and about to head in. I just arrived at the MSP COVID testing park site. This testing site does not require that you are traveling to get tested, and it is free for Minnesota residents. So let's go inside. All right, I am following the signs to get me to the MSP COVID testing. Sadly, it is a long ways from the escape lounge where I prefer to spend my airport time. I do not have an appointment today, so I'm hoping that it's not too long of a wait. Let's see. No, there's no TSA pre-check for this kind of airport line. I'm not going to bore you watching me fill out the application, so while we wait, here's a quick 5 things to know about COVID-19 testing and travel. 1. Many countries require proof of a negative COVID-19 test taken a certain amount of days before arrival. There are 3 main kinds of testing. This saliva test is a PCR test, like the nasal swab that goes into your brain. This kind is usually what's required to enter a foreign country that has testing requirements. 4th, if you're taking a COVID-19 test for travel, make sure you've got that bad boy in hand before you head to the airport. In the case of airport testing sites like this one and across the country, the turnaround time means you can't simply get a test right before your flight. Some countries require that negative test result before departing, and some by the time you arrive. But wondering if you're going to get it in time while you're in the air isn't the kind of in-flight butterflies we like. And finally, all this stuff is constantly changing, so before you plan a trip or go get a test for one, check the CDC, local and public health authority sites, and the local government tourism board websites of your destination before you do anything. The line was actually super short, so once I finished, I was at the front of the line. Time to spit in a tube for a few minutes. Remember my warning from earlier? You're not supposed to eat or drink for 30 minutes before taking this specific test, which makes spitting even harder. This is a newer testing method, but it's supposedly just as, if not more accurate than the nasal swab, and slightly more pleasant than the swab up the nose to tickle the brain. And then do I put this top thing on it? All right, I just got out of my COVID test and initial thoughts. I didn't get an appointment, and I'm glad I didn't because I really didn't need one. There were like 2 or 3 people in the line in front of me, so that was super easy. When I got into line, there were spaced out markers, on the floor to wait your turn. The healthcare professional that checked me in gave me a second new mask and said I can either swap them out or just put the second one on, which I did. The saliva test itself, I was actually expecting it to take a little bit longer to produce that much saliva, but it was actually pretty easy. I feel like I got it done in like less than 5 minutes. Don't know what that says about me, but I've had the rapid antigen test where they swab your nose, and I feel like this was an easier experience. It was kind of funny getting a COVID test at the MSP airport. It's definitely Not my most exciting trip to the airport, but kind of fun to be back in the old stomping grounds. And yeah, now off to my exciting destination, my home again. And then we wait for this one. I think says it will take under 48 hours. So now we wait.
48 hours later.
The results are in, and drum roll please, I am negative. Stay positive and test negative, everybody. If you take away anything from this, remember these things. COVID-19 testing sites are available around the country. Many countries are requiring proof of a negative COVID-19 test before entry. There are different kinds of tests, yes, beyond nose versus spit. And finally, all this stuff is changing constantly. We've got updated guides to all of this in the description below.